Realize the following, believer. It's not just the predators out there that's the issue, nor is it just the victims that are obviously torn apart that you should look at. Between the predator and the victim, there is distance and there is time. A predator doesn't begin with the blood of the victim on his hands. He begins with a move towards the victim. And before that, there is the intention in the mind of what he or she wants to do. So even before a potential victim was in sight, the predator was already being a predator. So who was around before the potential victim arrived? Others. It means relatives, friends, family, co-workers, society in general. So ask yourself the following. What did society do on your behalf? And this is something that is very weird. We give allowances and pauses to society over and over again. But at the same time, if you ever would not be able to give in to the expectations of society, society will discard you like filthy trash as if you never existed. If you would not give in to one of those codified restrictions, which we call laws, that society has in place, they will take vengeance on you. Even if the law is BS and it doesn't add up, they will still take vengeance on you for not allowing them as society to control you. That's what laws are for, to control you, to give others a sense of control. And this sense of control is the relief worldlings are craving after. So laws out there are not for protection, they are for control. Now some laws serve to protect certain people and certain parties. But overall, laws are there to grant narcissistic supply to worldlings. That's why when you quote unquote break the law, you have to die or something bad needs to happen to you so that others who tolerate all these restrictions feel good about themselves. So if society is a one-way traffic, you are expected to give your all 100% to society, but society has an option if society wants to acknowledge you. What is that? If a single human being would behave that way, you would kick him out of your life immediately. Or her. You wouldn't take it. But when society acts that way, for some reason, we give society a pause over and over again. Why are we doing that? Understand that it's not just the narcissist that's the issue, or the psychopath or the sociopath. It's the common people that enable those creeps, that make it all possible. And why do they enable those creeps? Because those creeps do the dirty job that they're not willing to do. Worldlings want relief. They want all the goods of life without being good. They don't want all the responsibility of being good. They don't want that. They just want the good of life, and they want to dump all the weight comes weight. They want to dump it to someone else. That's worldlings. But nobody's going to accept it if you would say openly that you only want the good from them and then you throw them away like trash. Nobody would accept that. So worldlings, for them to get along with one another, they need to hide their true intentions. Because if they would be transparent with their intentions, nobody would get along and you would have fights 24/7. Nobody wants that. So when someone does become an open dumper, we call them honest. They're just an open dumper, just openly violent with their words or with their attitude, but we say they're honest. Why are we doing that? Because we don't want to admit what's going on. Because if we admit that this individual is violent, then we need to ask ourselves, why are we tolerating this violence? We tolerate the violence because there's something in it for us. If someone around is a target of negative energy, that means that all the negativity goes to the individual, that the negativity doesn't affect us. So there is some ease for us in it. So that's why when one individual constants you and they openly show you their attitude, others tend to tolerate it. Why? Because at least the negative attention goes to you. And if you're harming negative attention that they allow to happen to you, they now will find some excuse to blame you, so that all the bad attention goes to you, so that they don't have to face themselves that they allowed violence to happen. That's how it is with worldlings. They don't want to do the dirty job by dumping openly because they don't want to deal with the consequences. So when you have creeps around who are mentally following up, who are mentally, not following up, who are mentally diabolical, they will enable such creeps. Because such creeps, because they're diabolical, you can always discard them and have an excuse for why you tolerate them. You could say, well, they were violent, that's why I just tolerated them, so I wouldn't be the target. Or you could say they forced us. If someone is a creep, you have something that you can use against them at any time. That's why the world tolerates and enables creeps. But someone that's truly a victim, who calls society to account, society can't handle that. Again, worldlings enable creeps because there's something in it for them. They are now able to get away with not self-reflecting. They are able to get away with not looking at themselves. They are able to get away without having to give an account. They are able to get away without having to take action to change. They now are left off the hook. They now can be left alone. They now have relief. That's the thing they want. Extended relief all the time. That's why they enable evildoers. And those same people that hold on to this feared construct of society, they demand you to give your all to society. But is society giving its all to you? No. You're not even allowed to think that you're anything important. Oh wait, so you're not allowed to think you're anything important? You're not allowed to do that, but they have to decide if you're important or not. So they want to play God over you. Why do you keep giving allowances to worldlings? I'm not promoting setting boundaries with that because that's a form of controlling. And that form of controlling is narcissistic. So if a narcissist is controlling and someone becomes controlling to fight a narcissist, then it's both controlling, they're both in darkness. So I'm not doing that. I'm telling you what Christ told us, to shake the dust off our feet and to persist in God's power. Too often we persist in resistance. You have to persist in God's power, because when you persist in resistance, the resistance will cause the thing that you're fighting to have a grip on you. So even if you manage to to get rid of something or someone that you're upset about, the tension you're carrying with you, it deforms you. But you think you've won because you forced boundaries, so you enforced a restriction. When you persist in God's power, you shut down all the violence around you. And that's what we ought to do. Just understand that worldlings in general will enable creeps. Because creeps, they can blackmail. Creeps, they can shut down and have an excuse for doing it. But if someone is openly a victim or someone is openly innocent, they would look bad if they do it. That's why they love the creeps. Keep agreeing with Christ.